You're watching the Norfolk Southern Sherwood subdivision. I'm Harold. Thanks for joining us. Today's video is about putting together a puzzle. The puzzle is we have all these pieces that we have developed to create the base for our town scene in Sherwood. Today we're going to put them all together into one coherent piece. So if you like videos of this type or some of our operations videos, please consider subscribing to the Norfolk Southern Sherwood subdivision. Now we're going to get on with today's video. In today's video we are going to assemble the base for our Sherwood town scene. I have the two pieces of MDF that we cut in a previous video. And right here I've sanded off the top because we're going to use some glue. I have them clamped together. I have our, as they fall over, which they have done in the past, I have a 3-inch strip of hardboard that I've cut out. This will be our roadway and the base for our buildings. So today's mission is to attach them. I've identified the center point right here. And the idea is to attach this so that this end right here is flush with the face and not overhanging it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some wood screws like these. And we're going to attach this. We're also going to put some glue underneath it to make sure it holds. So here we go. This is the center right here. So I'll take some of our glue, smear it on there. Don't want to join the two pieces together. Put this back up here, making sure it's centered. Making sure there's no overhang. So we need to push it back a little bit perhaps. Drill a pilot hole. I have a little countersink going. I'll find our screw again. We'll see if this is better. That a little deeper. Okay, that's not bad. Later on we're going to cover that up and you won't be able to see it. So the process from here on out is going in both directions and doing the same thing that we just did. The first side has been finished. We ended up putting in 12 screws along with our wood glue. That should keep it in place for a long time. And we're looking at both sides and we see the end down there and the corresponding other end. That part is done. We will move on now to connecting the rear portion to here, and that'll be at our next segment. Now we're going to do the rear, which is attaching our 3-inch piece of hardboard to this piece of MDF. We'll do the same thing that we did when we did the front part. So we'll get started with that. Find a drill bit. pilot hole. sink. And our wood screw, screwdriver, connect these two, drive it on. In other words, the same process that you've just seen when we did the front. So I'll finish this. And then we're going to finish the puzzle by adding these little items. These are spacer blocks, and they go at the bottom. So the bottom doesn't cave in on us, and we have a coherent piece that we can pick up and move around, and it's not going to get out of shape. Now, just to ensure some structural integrity, we're going to turn this thing over and insert one of these little spacer blocks every so often. Here we go. Okay. Clamp it in place. Wipe the excess glue off. Find our drill bit. Drill our hole. Drop our drill bit, so we have to pick it up from the floor. Yeah. Do a little countersinking. Take our drywall screw. And drive it out. And we will do the same on the other side. So as in the previous segments, we'll continue working on this, and the result will be shown when we come back. Now we see all the pieces that have been put together. The flat surface on the top, that's where our buildings are going to go. The little ramps at the end, I've got some clamps on there because the glue wasn't dry. That's where the traffic will access the area on both ends. You can't say it's really finished because, as you can see, there's some sanding to be done. There's obviously some filling up of the holes where the screws are. There's going to be painting. The structures have to be built. The roads have to be placed in there. Nevertheless, we now have a structure that's permanent that we can put on our layout, and after the buildings are installed, it'll form the small town of Sherwood, which will be in our background. Additional good news, we can work on it on this workbench. We don't have to work on it at the back of the layout, which would be inconvenient. This gives us a picture of how the structure will look when it's really on the layout, with trains running in front of it. We see our train there. We look at the other end. We see both ends of our structure. And we see the relationship between the size of the train and the town scene that will go above it. Now, eventually, of course, what you see in white as the face of it will be painted and somehow, perhaps in a concrete color, maybe look like a concrete wall, or some stone. Perhaps if I can find some stone that's suitable. Pretty pleased with the outcome of this so far. Of course, it needs some finish work as we discussed. That concludes today's video about building the base for our town scene in Sherwood. We thank you for watching the Norfolk Southern Sherwood subdivision.